Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well. And today we'll be talking more about the current state of the box office, the current state of the movie theater industry, and of course, the state of Hollywood in general right now. And so I've been covering this the last couple of days with various movies being delayed, the releases being delayed, productions of films being delayed. Obviously, big films like The Batman have stopped production, even on television shows side of things. We have Stranger Things production shut down. Pretty much most of the industry has shut down at this point. There was a report just the other day on Deadline.com that essentially there were hundreds, if not thousands, of people that had been laid off during this period and during this time. And so obviously we need to be praying for all those people that are hourly workers. That's one of the reasons why I ended up not going into the film industry, because the job market is just so uncertain. A lot of these people who are not unionized, who are not a part of a union yet, they don't have health care through their employer like a lot of other people do that have full-time jobs. And so any hourly employee out there, again, I'm praying for you during this time, because I know y'all are the ones that are being the most hard hit by all of this, especially for all my brothers and sisters who work in the movie theater industry itself for AMC and Regal. Again, having worked there for several years myself, I know that it's already rough in the first place with the very, poor the poor pay that was already there, but especially now with not having the ability to go to work, I'm hoping that these companies stand up and step up and start to provide the care that a lot of people are going to need. But let's go ahead and dive in a couple articles right here from Deadline.com on the current state of everything going on. So as you can see, the box office fades to black as CV, I almost said it myself, shuts down 4,000 North American theaters into May. Where the studios stand and what is next. So 4,000 theaters in North America alone have been shut down because of CV. Obviously, we know many other theaters across the entire world have been shut down as well, but I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. As I've mentioned previously before, it's just insane to see how just so many people are being impacted by this. Obviously, the social distancing that's going on right now, me having to work from home as a teacher and record videos and lectures, it's just such a weird experience overall for students and for teachers, and also for all of us, really, since many of us are being impacted by this. In fact, just earlier today, I found out that public masses, you all know I'm a Catholic, public masses have been shut down in my diocese, and that's been the case in many dioceses across the country. And so it's just really insane how everything is shutting down. And so what kind of, I think, adds a little bit more realism to that, and what makes it kind of more for us to realize what exactly is going on, is when things like this happen too. So when you have 4,000 theaters shutting down, when AMC says it'll be shut down between 6 and 12 weeks, when you have Regal coming out and other theaters saying that they're going to be closed indefinitely with no actual time frame put on it, I mean, it's just truly insane. And it's already in a bad position because movie theaters were already struggling before this whole thing happened. And so the real question that's going to be asked is the movie theater industry going to be able to survive this type of closure? Because obviously people will return to the theater, but will they return in the same numbers? Will studios continue to release movies the same way? Are they going to find success with releasing their films on VOD in comparison to theaters? Maybe they realize that they can make more money through VOD than in splitting the money with the theaters? Are studios possibly going to try to renegotiate contracts to take more money out of the theaters, or vice versa? We're in very uncertain times when it comes to movie theaters in general. And as you all know, I love the movie theater. I love just everything about it, and it's just so crazy that we're dealing with right now. So as you can see right now, basically the industry is shut down, according to one studio boss, making it very clear. So with Cinemark shutting down on Tuesday, the last of the major circuits alongside AMC, Regal, Cineplex, Odeon, Marcus, Harkins, and more, there really isn't much left in regards to the theater. At present, distribution executives estimate that around 20% of the nation's movie theaters remain intact and open for business. 20% of all theaters across the country are still open. I imagine many of those theaters that are open are in some areas that have been less affected. West Virginia, I believe, was the last state to finally have a case there. So I'm imagining that there's probably some theaters open there, but maybe other parts of the world where, especially in the states that don't really have as much big population centers, but 20% of all theaters, 4,000 theaters overall being closed down is truly insane at this point in time. With AMC announcing at most a 12-week shutdown, which could take us into June 5th. So now talking about possibly June movies being affected, and other chains like Regal and Cinemark not specifying how long they'll be shuttered. Everyone in the motion picture industry is wondering when we are going to come out of this. How will the big circus, especially AMC, emerge? And this is where it kind of gets a little sad and scary. The chain was already in rough financial shape before CV hit North America. AMC's market cap currently is $258.5 million. Is it the end of days for mom and pop cinemas? Word began to spread Tuesday that Regal Cinemas was already furloughing certain employees, film buyers among them. So again, putting people on leave for a long period of time. Overall, the domestic box office is closed until the end of May. There is an estimated $2 billion blow. Again, as I mentioned before, some are estimating that it'll probably cost around $20 billion when you look at both what is being released and what not being released, and also the production delays that are going on behind the scenes as well. Yet there are some in distribution and exhibition who believe that money can be recouped during the second half of 2020 if theaters are able to reopen and if the people actually go and show up. I think they will, but we'll have to wait and see. It's clear with all the delays occurring, old titles, when they resurface, will likely push newer ones off the schedule, possibly into 2021. So we could see some major releases get delayed an entire year. Disney is finally calibrated in their control of key dates to just bump one title to next calendar slot. According to Disney, it's still to be determined where Marvel's Black Widow will go next, but it wouldn't be a shocker if the big pick moves to July 3rd and pushes 20th Century Fox's Free Guy later in the calendar, or to July 24th, thus bumping Disney's Jungle Cruise later, or even November 6th, thus sending Marvel's The Eternals into next year. All of these I could see definitely happening, and it's going to be a crazy release schedule. And this is the reason why it's going to cost the studios even more, because if they have to bump movies, it means that they have to release new posters with updated release dates, new trailers with updated release dates, and it means that, especially if they're pushing it later on and they've been preparing for it to be on a certain date, they might have to spend more money on marketing as well. So just the financial loss of the studios really is yet to be known at this point. Also, it's not going to be easy to turn back on the entire domestic theatrical system as quickly as it was shut off. Similar to what's being proposed in China, will exhibition return with staggered reserved seating and auditorium capacities limits of 50%? Will various communities or cities become more affected by the CV than others, thus slowing the reopening of theaters? Are around-the-clock showtimes with juiced Avengers Endgame to set a record opening weekend a distribution feat of the past? Or will showtimes be limited now? Again, these are all great questions, because even when we do get the theaters back open, the question's going to remain. We can't just open all 4,000 theaters at once with full showtimes, especially if the studios don't know exactly when they're going to release their movies. So as you can tell, it's just crazy. Lionsgate now has added to it as well. They have taken off films Antebellum, Run, and Spiral. The only one of those movies that I had actually even heard of was Antebellum, but apparently it's a horror pick. Sarah Paulson was in Run, and Chris Rock, Samuel L. Jackson. It was a Saw chapter called Spiral. So interesting nonetheless, but Antebellum was set for April 24th, so now a late April film has been delayed. Spiral was set for May 15th, so now we're getting studios going all the way out to May 15, delaying those movies. It's crazy. It's crazy times, and the big question that I have is, are the theaters going to be able to survive? The studios will be able to survive. Now, whether they get bought up by others if they're smaller, or obviously there's people saying, hey, Apple, why don't you go buy Disney right now because their market shares have plummeted so much you probably couldn't afford them. Is that going to happen? We don't know. There's no official word on that yet, but are we going to see certain studios maybe get picked up by bigger ones? Also, the question remains, are people like AMC or theaters like AMC going to be able to survive this as well? Remember that AMC got purchased within the past several years by a Chinese corporation. Obviously, China's being very hard hit right now with everything going on over there, and so is AMC going to be able to recover? Is Regal going to be able to recover? We really just don't know. And so it'll be fascinating to see where the studios go with their VOD. We haven't heard that many more films being announced for VOD at this point in time. I'll try and keep you guys posted on social media, maybe on YouTube as well. It's insane. But what are your thoughts on this? Do you think the movie theater industry is dead? Do you think this is the final nail in the coffin that's going to keep people at home? Because again, even if they reopen, they have to do things differently. They have to change the way that they record, or rather, change the way that they put things out. They're going to have to change the way that they promote their movies, and it's going to have to change the way also that they seat people too. This could have very long-lasting years of impact on the movie theater industry, because maybe we're going to be more aware, because of this pandemic, maybe we're going to be more aware of things like the flu season, which kills thousands of people every single year, and we'll be more aware of that, and we'll have seasons in our year where we will go into this sense of social distancing in a lesser capacity. I mean, again, there's so many things that we just don't know what's going to happen, because everything has become so hyperactive and everything has become so hyper realistic. It's insane to think about where we are right now. But anyway, let me know your thoughts about this. Please make sure that you stay safe. If you do not have to leave your house, please do not. Again, let's try and stop the spread of this illness, because even though you might be okay, your family members might not be. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. Please make sure you smash the like button, give us a subscribe. It helps us out a lot. You're all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless. And now to give a special shout out to my March Patreon and Subscribe Star members: animation commentator Brian P., Dion, David Brobrizik, Divex, Elizabeth M., Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, Hail Father, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Honker Chonker Funky Monkey, Inflame Wood, Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, JJ Jonathan Jerembeck, Kenneth Camiel, Lady T, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Riff Magos, Riff Racer Request, Rosetta Allen, Sir Lancelato, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, The DJD Show, and Tina B for Patreon, and my Subscribe Star peeps: Robert Revo, Larry, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, G2 Cool 99, Dark Star 57, Alex McCarthy, US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J-Rod the Beer Guru, Nebadan G. Adams, and ZK Man, and Mike Jackson. Thank you all so much for being my Patreon and Subscribe Star members for the month of March. You are all amazing people. Thank you so much for the support, and I hope that you are enjoying your perks. If you do not know the perks that you get, make sure you read again through all the perks that are listed, and also check your messages if you're over on Patreon, because if you are a $5 and up backer on Patreon, you get special access to giveaways over on the Discord. I send out messages with a link to join the Discord server. I will then hook you up over there, and you'll have access to some really cool giveaways. I give away 4Ks, Blu-rays, digital codes, try and give away at least a couple of big movies, 4K Blu-ray titles a month, and try to do at least 2 to 3 giveaways for when it comes to digital download codes. And I might try and do a little bit more this month as well, because I'm always trying to add extra stuff to it. And also, if you are a $10 or up backer, then you have access to a special podcast that I'm starting to do with John the Flick Pick. That's right, John Flickinger of the Flick Pick channel. We're having a lot of fun with the podcast, and so expect that every couple weeks. And of course, also any extra behind the scenes, extra footage, extra interviews, extra solo podcasts as well, you will also have access to. And my special $25 and up backers on Patreon Subscribe Star, you have access to all of those things that I've listed. You also get a t-shirt. That's right, I will send you a t-shirt for your first month. And of course, you can also be featured on the Chosen to Valhalla live stream once a month. You get to be featured on the Odin's Movie Blog channel. It's always usually on a Sunday around 12 p.m. Eastern time. You get to join some lovely peeps and have some really great discussion with all of the Chosen of Valhalla and me with the live audience. Anyway, you guys are all amazing and beautiful people. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless.